திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். ஆடும் வரிவேல் அணி சேவல் என பாடும் பணியே பணியாய் அருள்வாய் தேடும் கயமா முகனை செருவில் சாடும் தனி யானை சகோதரன். திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். பொய்கண்டார்கானா புனிதவனும் மத்துவித மெய்கண்ட நாதன் அருள் மேவுநாள் என்னாலும். திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். தென்னாடுடைய சிவனே போற்றி, எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி, யாகம்பத்துரையந்தாய் போற்றி, பாகம் மண்ணுரானாய் போற்றி, பராய்த்துறை மேவிய பரணே போற்றி, சிராப்பள்ளி மேவிய சிவனே போற்றி, அண்ணாமலையம் அண்ணா போற்றி, கண்ணாரமுத கடலே போற்றி, காவாய் கனக திரளையே போற்றி, கைலை மலையானே போற்றி போற்றி, வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு அரோகரா. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். அண்ட சராசரங்களுக்கெல்லாம் அதிபதியாக விளங்கக்கூடிய முருகப்பெருமானுடைய ஒப்பற்ற பெருங்கருணையினாலே ஞானத்திரள் சார்பாக இந்த பிலாசபி ஆஃப் சைவ சித்தாந்தம் என்று சைவ சித்தாந்த அடிப்படை உண்மைகளை ஆங்கிலத்திலே தொடர்ந்து சிந்திக்கின்ற முகமாக சாப்டர் 3 தி பாண்டேஜ் என்கிற தலைப்பிலே நாம் சில செய்திகளை தொடர்ந்து சிந்திப்பதற்கு திருவருள் கூட்டியிருக்கிறது. Out of the basic 3 entities in Saiva Siddhantam, we have discussed about the soul in chapter 1. We discussed about the Almighty in chapter 2, and in the 3rd chapter, we are trying to discuss about the things which are blocking the soul to reach the Almighty. See, the souls are suffering. They are in need of a savior, and they have to come out of the sufferings, and they are in seek of support to liberate them from the sufferings through the ages. Not a day or two, not an year or two, not a birth or two. Innumerable births have taken, souls have taken. Still they are not yet out of their miseries, their suffering. They are still suffering. The pity is that they don't realize sometimes they are in misery, they are in sufferings, and they are to be liberated. And there should be somebody else who are not affected by the reasons for the sufferings, for the souls. That thing, that entity should come forward to help us. See, the doctor should be out of disease. Then only he would be able to cure other souls. If the doctor is in illness, how can you expect him to treat others and to bring them out of illness? So the Almighty is known as இயல்பாகவே பாசங்களினின்றும் விடுபட்டவர். That is, he will not be affected, and he is not affected, and he was not affected, and he is not going to be affected by the great, powerful energy, the Anavam, the ignorance, the eternal darkness, the impurity, the wisdom of the souls. We have been impressing through the series of sessions that the soul's wisdom are encompassed, are darkened by the ignorance, the great source of ignorance, the great source of darkness, the great source of impurity, or the impurity itself. That is the Anavam. That is why the soul, without the help of the infrastructure, it feels, it sees, it realizes nothing. It goes into a state where it cannot understand where is it, what is it doing, what is that has composed or made it so ignorant. So, we should be first aware that there is something to be win over. That we have to win over the darkness. That then only we will be out of the suffering. How to win over the darkness? Can it be done by ourselves? If it can be done by ourselves, we would have done it years back or ages back or births back. We are not able to win over it. That is why God has come forward to, the Almighty has come forward to help us to win over, to liberate us from the clutches of the Anavam. He is planning and executing. There should be a method adoptable by the Almighty. He has planned. Nobody is there to give him plan. He plans himself. He executes himself. So, he decides to uplift or liberate their souls from their sufferings. And he is, first of all, trying to make the souls active, because they were inactive in the darkness. We have understood. We have also experienced that we are inactive in darkness. Whenever wisdom is in darkness, we are inactive. We cannot do anything. We do not know that where we are, how we are, what we are. All those things are. We are not aware of all those things. What to do? So, once the darkness is removed slightly, then the souls become active. They want to be active. And if they want to be active, there should be some infrastructure for them to be active. Is it not? See, I have a thought. I have an inspiration. I have an inspiration. I want to put them in words. Some inspiration has come over. I want to put them in in words. What do I need? I need, first of all, superstructure or infrastructure. That is paper, pen, writing method, writing language, understandable language. All those things are required, isn't it? Then only I would be able to put my idea, put my innovation, put my inspiration into action. That's why once the souls become active, then they have to be provided the infrastructure. The infrastructure is called the tattvas. Tattvas are broadly classified under three heads. Number one is Asuddha-Mayai Tattva. Asuddha-Mayai Tattva. The second one is Suddha-Mayai Tattva. Then the third one is the Anma Tattva. In some other context, some people will say that the Anma Tattva will be called Asuddha Tattva. The Asuddha Tattva will be called Suddha Tattva. And Suddha Tattva will be called as Suddha Tattva. Anyway, we must understand that the superstructure or the tattvams or the tools or the instruments, whatever you call, they are given as for helping the souls to come out of their suffering. And they have to use them, they have to be active, they have to gain experience, and they have to understand that their war is against the Anavam. Their war is against the Anavam. It has to fight against the Anavam. To fight against the Anavam, the soul is given infrastructure, tools, tattvams. Isn't that? So understand that God has given the soul the tattvams, and He is asking the soul. He is triggering the soul. He is inspiring the soul to fight against the Anavam. Please understand, it is us to fight against Anavam, not God. God will not fight against anything. The Anavam is not going to be destroyed. What God says is, it's going to be ever. It's going to be there forever. It has no beginning and it has no ending. Anavam doesn't have a beginning, doesn't have a beginning and doesn't have an ending. So why should you go and destroy it? So what is the fight you mean? You must understand what is the fight. The soul is asked by God, you fight against the Anavam. God says, I will not fight. It is your lookout. You have to fight against Anavam. You understand, first of all, that there is a thing to be fought over, win over. There is a thing. There is darkness in your wisdom. You have to fight against it. First of all, you must have the idea, have the inspiration, have the determination that I should fight against the Anavam, which has been with me in my wisdom as impurity to be removed for ages together. Birth after birth, it is not eroded. It's not eroded. It has to be eroded. It has to be blocked. Let it be there. Let it not block me. Let it not influence me. My aim is not to destroy Anavam, but I wanted to be away from my wisdom, to get away from my wisdom, to go away from my wisdom, to be inactive, or rather, to be inactive as far as my wisdom is concerned. The Anavam should be inactive as far as my wisdom is concerned. Let it be active somewhere else. But I should see to it, my aim is not to destroy Anavam, and that cannot be done because it doesn't have a beginning and an ending. My aim is to make Anavam to be inactive as far as my wisdom is concerned. Let it not influence me. So you understand which is to be fought over and what is to be won over, what is to be achieved, that you must be clear of. To be achieved is to make Anavam to be inactive as far as you are concerned, as far as your wisdom is concerned. You understand? The system is clear, it is not complicated. We can make it complicated. By itself, it is not complicated. Picture is very clear. We will make everything complicated. Whatever is given, a clear thing given to us will be made complicated, complex. Everything we will do with more confusions and chaos, and we will present it. Is it not? A life has been given by God to us. We have made it more complicated, most complex in nature. We have made it. So likewise, the fight, you must understand that we are doing a fight against the Anavam. So that is the main blockage. That is the main blockage. What is the main blockage? Anavam. So to fight, for fighting, tools, infrastructure. Is it not? If you go to a war, if you go for fighting, if you face a war, you must have weapons, isn't it? Sword, shield, and so many things. A horse, or an elephant. Likewise, you must have the equipments, tools for fighting. God has given you. Every time you fought, you lose. And again, God is driving you to another fight, giving you fresh tools. Again, you go for fight. Again, you lose. Because in the war field, in the war front, you do not know which is to be fought and what is to be ignored. You don't understand at all. And you are wasting your tools and you are ending up in failure. Okay. With that, now we have understood that infrastructure is given by God for fighting against Anavam. For fighting against Anavam, the infrastructure has been made out of the great source of energy, inert energy, Mayai. The tools, they are in three categories, in three forms. Number one, Sivakumar. Number two, Vidyatattvam. Number three, the Anma-Tattvam. Siva-Tattvam totaling 5, Vidya-Tattvam totaling up to 7, and Anma-Tattvam totaling up to 24. These three categories of tools are provided for the human being. Let us talk about human being. Since we are the one who are discussing about the philosophy of Saiva Siddhantam, let us be clear about us first. So these three categories, Siddhamayai, Siva-Tattvam, and then some tools are made out of Asuddhamayai. They are called Kalam, Niyadi, Kalai, Vittai, Araham, Mayai, Purudan, 7. Siva-Tattvam, last session we discussed Nadam, Bindu, Sadakyam, Iswaram, Suddha Vidyai. Nadam, Bindu, Layam, Sadakyam, Boham, Iswaram, Suddha Vidyai, Adhikaram. Under these three categories, the Siva-Tattvams are formed. They are the driving tools. And driven tools are Kalam, Niyadi, Kalai, Vittai, Araham. Is it that? Mayai, Purudan. Kalam, time, Niyadi, destiny, and then desire, planning, execution. All these tools are given to Anma as a blanket, and Anma is called now Purushan, and the operating field is called Mayai. Asuddhamaya. Then these are the driven tools and driving tools, and the driven tools have transducers, end tools. The end tool, Anma Tattvam or processing unit. Processing unit. Those processing unit, Anma Tattvam, they actually interact with the world directly. They directly interact. Shiva Tattvam and Vidya Tattvam, they are not directly interacting. Out of these three, Asuddhamaya and Prakriti Mayai, this is called Prakriti Mayai. This Prakriti Mayai, it yields or it gives out these 24 Anma Tattvam. 24 Anma Tattvam, Anma tools. You please understand, these tools are at our discretion and disposal and usage. Vidya Tattvam at our discretion, at our disposal. But please understand, Siva Tattvam is not at all under our control. Siva Tattvam, if the Almighty feels that the soul has come to a maturity level, then He operates the Siva Tattvam in such a manner, the soul enters into Nirmala Avartai, the final process. That is called the Nirmala Avartai. Nirmala is the final process. That final process, Siva Tattvam plays an important role. So please understand, the Asuddhamaya Tattvam and Anma Tattvam are at our disposal. Okay. Now let us see how the end unit, so in any office if you go, first thing you meet is the front office. There will be a front office, isn't it? The body is the front office for the soul. The soul, the worldly things will first of all contact only the physical body, which is comprising of the 60 Tattviham and the 5 basic elements. 5 basic elements. So we are going to see in detail, we are going to discuss in detail all the 24 tools. But you first understand, Anma Tattvam is the front office for the soul. You understand? So the first point of contact is eye, ear. If the world is to be contacted, the first contact is eye, ear, nose, tongue, the skin. Is it not? So you please understand the front office, the main office, and then the management office. Management, main office, and then front office. Likewise, the front office is the Anma Tattvam. The main office is the Vidya Tattvam. The management section, the chairman, the managing director, general managers, the driving force will be there for management. Okay, now we have 3 sections. We have already discussed the main office and the management office. We are going to discuss now the front end. How tools are uh, managed, how tools are managed by the management, how tools are managed by the management, and then management is how it is governed by the Almighty. You understand? So actually, the management it manages, the main office executes the process, front end receives, processes, and gives. You understand? Now, you must understand that the main the Anma Tattvam, front office tools, they are derived from where? They are derived from where? The main source of all tools is derived from a main source called Moola Prakriti. Moola Prakriti. This Moola Prakriti came out of Kalai. Kalai. Kalai Vittai Araham Asudamaya. You understand? Kalai Vittai Araham. Out of the Kalai, the Prakriti Mayai is generated. Because of the grace of God. See, without the grace of Lord, nothing will happen in this world. Avanandri or Anuvum Asayad. You understand? Even though we may not say that God has done this, God has done that, we may not have uttered, we may not have mentioned, but still you remember, wherever we are meaning some action, there is the action of God. Unless otherwise, without His acceptance, without His nod, nothing will happen. Okay, Moola Prakriti, please understand, Moola Prakriti. Moola Prakriti, as a matter of fact, it is it may be considered as a lump sum, or it's a group of the basic three qualities which drive the soul to experience. So understand, these three qualities are very important for the soul to realize an experience. An experience may be bitter, an experience may be sweet, an experience may not have an effect at all. All these feel how they are generated only under the color of these basic three elements of the Moola Prakriti. Only from this Moola Prakriti, these three qualities in astral state, Sukshama state, these three qualities are Rajasam, Tamasam, Sattvam. These are the three basic qualities which play the main role. Those cannot be seen. These three play main role to execute the things and to experience the things. Those are happening in the world by the soul. So many things happen in this world. How to look at them? As an enjoyment or as a suffering? How to take them? How to treat them? How to view them? It purely is dependent on how the soul is placed, whether the soul is placed in Rajasam, whether the soul is placed in Tamasam, whether the soul is placed in Sattvam. It matters much. These three are in a very, very, very Sukshama, minute stage in Moola Prakriti. The Moola Prakriti derived out of Kalai Tattvam. From Kalai, Vittai Araham, Vittai Jnanam, Araham desire, Ichai, from Kalai. From the same Kalai, that is the execution, you understand? That is the execution, Kriya, the Moola Prakriti comes out of it, or it is derived from that. and from there the tools are generated. That is why we are saying Prakriti Mayai is the effect of Asuddha Mayai. Asuddha Mayai is the effect of Suddha Mayai. You understand? Let me make it once more clear if I am not clear about this. First of all, Suddha Mayai, it affects, or that is why it causes, let's say, causes. If you say effect and cause manner, then Suddha Mayai effect, cause is Asuddha Mayai. Then once again, effect is Asuddha Mayai, Prakriti Mayai is the cause. Now I think I have made it clear. One after the other. In Suddha Mayai, 5 tools are generated, 5 tools are derived to control, to drive, and the same Suddha Mayai is again applied on soul's wisdom. It becomes impure Asuddha Mayai, and we are getting the Asuddha Mayai Tattvam. That Asuddha Mayai Tattvam, Kalai Vitte Araham Mayai Purdan. From Asuddha Mayai, instead of generating Prakriti Mayai from Asuddha Mayai itself, an element of Asuddha Mayai, a tool of Asuddha Mayai, Kalai, from Kalai, the Prakriti Mayai is generated, out of which all the 24 tools of Anma Tattvam are generated. Okay, first tool, Kalai. First tool, Kalai. From Kalai, Prakriti Mayai. Kalai belongs to Asuddha Mayai. Prakriti Mayai belongs to Prakriti Mayai. So, Moola Prakriti, from Moola Prakriti, then we are coming to a tool of Siddham. If you just see, Moola Prakriti and Siddham are not different. Moola Prakriti in a minute form, Siddham is in usable form. The three basic qualities, Gunangal, Muggunangal, Rajasa, Tamasa, Sattvam, Muggunangal. Rajasam, Tamasam, Sattvam. Rajasam, Tamasam, Sattvam, these three basic qualities, they are in Moola Prakriti in Suchama state. In Siddham, again there are three qualities, but in Tula state. That is why Moola Prakriti and Siddham, they will not be considered as a different tool. They will not be considered as different tools. Okay, Siddham, from where? But you please understand, in Siddham, these three are there. How are they proportioned in Siddham? They are equal. They are equal means they are 33.33% running. Recurring, 33.33 or 33 and 1 by 3, let us say 33 and 1 by 3, 100%. These three are in equal proportions in wisdom. I mean, to be used by wisdom rather. It's a tool, it has to be used by human wisdom. So, Moola Prakriti, now known as in its Tula state, formless form, we are using those words. The formless state is Sukshamam in Mula Prakriti, form state in Siddham. Then comes the Ahankaram. Ahankaram is the one which makes the soul to be active and to do things and to execute things and to get experience. God doesn't expect the souls to be silent, to be inactive. He wants to be active. Either do good or bad. Get the result of them. Get the experiences. Get yourself corrected. Okay, you receive something. When you receive something, basing on the result, you correct yourself. That's what he expects. He doesn't expect all the souls to be honest, sincere, good. He cannot expect it. Souls are not also like that. If everybody is expected to be good, everybody is expected to be honest, if everybody is expected to be sincere, then why do we need a police station at all? Why do we need a court? People are not like that. People are not like that. People are not honest. People are not sincere. People are not kindful. People are not selfless. They are always selfish. Only out of selfishness comes all the mistakes, crimes. Everything comes out of that only. Okay, now we have come to the second tool. First tool Siddham, second tool is Ahankaram. This Ahankaram is the basic quality to do things. Then from that, the tools generation or derivations doesn't stop. It's continuing. Then next comes the Buddhi. It is called Buddhi. Siddham, Ahankaram, Buddhi. Why it is called Buddhi? Because it is the actual platform. It is the actual platform where it considers the plans. The soul considers the plans. It needs a platform. Whether this is to be done, whether this is to be avoided, whether this is to be adopted, whether this is to be rejected. All these things planning, why we should do this, why should we do that, why should we go there, why should we sit here. All these things planning, it considers in the Buddhi. To consider, to plan, to consider, the Ahankaram is required. Once it considers and comes to a result, it is stored in Siddham. All decisions, all details are put in the Siddham. Okay, now from Buddhi, there are three important classifications or important divisions, out of which the most of the Anma Tattvams are generated. I will ask the operator to search for this Anma Tattva details. If it is there, Mr. Saravanan and Mrs. Saravanan, they have always prepared. They are always preparing charts, a lot of charts, but I didn't have the time to go through them. But I am having them in my file. They have drawn some details, charts for this also. I will ask my PA to, yes. No, this is, I am just seeking Anma Tattvam. I am just looking for Anma Tattvam, that 24 Tattvam, and they have been very easy to understand if you go through a chart. Okay. Now we are considering the tool of buddhi. Out of buddhi, we are going to generate out of ahankaram. This from buddhi, due to ahankaram, we will have the tools, a lot of tools made by ahankaram. Ahankaram with rajasam, ahankaram with sattvam, ahankaram with tamasam, ahankaram with sattvam, first of all. Then ahankaram with rajasam, ahankaram with tamasam. So likewise, the tools are generated for our use. You understand? Okay. First of all, from ahankaram, that is called as ahankaram with sattva. They are also named as daisada ahankaram, budadi ahankaram. Okay, I think that she has come out with this. Sensory organs, motor organs, senses, tanmatrigal, elements, manam, buddhi, ahankaram. Chart Mari, she must have put a chart. How they are derived one after the other. Likewise, they must have derived. Okay. Now the first one is the mind, manam. Buddhi, adhiga ahankaram, siddham, mind, siddham, and then ahankaram. From ahankaram, sensory organs, other senses, elements, convendri, all these are generated as a matter of fact. Now we are going through the manam generated out of ahankaram with sattva. That is called daisada ahankaram. The elements are generated out of budadi ahankaram. Okay, now the jnanendriyam, organs with wisdom, jnanendriyam they are called. For example, eye with sight, ears with hearing capacity, listening capacity, skin which has the capacity of feel, hot or cold or something like that. Then the tongue, the taste, understanding the taste. Then again, nose, it feels the flavor, scent. Is it not? So these 5 sensory organs, they are generated out of ahankaram with sattva gunam, sattvam. You understand? You just, if you just see kanvendriyam, again from ahankaram, the kanvendriyam, for example, the hand, the legs, the tongue, then the Eruvai, Karuvai, they are using anus and genitals. He has put very nicely. He has put to make you understand. I told them in Tamil also. See, these are the 5 conventions. They are being operated without wisdom. That is why they are called Kanvendriyam. I will just explain why they are called Jnanendriyam, why they are called Kanvendriyam. If you want to understand, I will give an example so that you will understand how Jnanendriyam are operated, how Kanvendriyam are operated. Just to see the sensory organs and motor organs, you just see one thing is appearing common in both Jnanendriyam and Kanvendriyam. The tongue appears in Jnanendriyam and also in Kanvendriyam. Even though tongue appears in Jnanendriyam and Kanvendriyam, their functional details are different. It is functioning on one purpose in Jnanendriyam for another purpose in Kanvendriyam. So kindly understand that even though tongue appears in both organs, that is sensory organs and motor organs are Jnanendriyam and Kanvendriyam, you must be well versed with the Jnanendriyam and Kanvendriyam. That term you must be well versed. Jnanendriyam, Kanvendriyam, because it by itself gives that these organs are being operated with wisdom. These organs are operated without requiring any wisdom. Without requiring any wisdom. For example, let us say, in our house on one day, let us say, let us say our mother was busy with some other work. She was not able to cook fresh. Then what she will do, she will take something from the fridge, cooked yesterday or cooked the day before we take the meals. So she will take the thing from the fridge and she will give it to you on the dining table. She will place. She will, of course, she will heat it and put it before you. See, you may not have asked your mother whether it is fresh or old or fresh or the already previous day dish. You will not ask. You will assume yourself that this has been cooked freshly today. You will assume and you will take, you will start consuming it. Once you start consuming it, your tongue will say, hey, it seems to be filthy. It seems to be not fresh. It should be filthy. Why you are taking this? It will caution you. The tongue will say the bad taste and the good taste. It will be able to differentiate between the bad taste and the good taste, and it will indicate and it will inform you that it has a bad taste. So it might have been cooked yesterday. It is old. It is not a fresh one. It may give you an indication. The tongue will give you an indication. Is it not? When you taste something, tongue will give you an indication that it is fresh, it is tasty, it is good. All these things are given. Okay. If you talk ill, if you utter bad words, if you utter filthy words, out of rage, out of anger, if you utter these words, will your tongue say that, why are you uttering these words? These are all bad words. These are very bad words. Why should you use these bad words? Why should you use these filthy words? Don't use them. Will the tongue say? No, it will not say. So, when you are tasting, the tongue is having sense. When you are talking, the tongue will not have the sense. That is why it is called Kanvendriyam. So, tongue will not will not caution you, will not inform you, or will not advise you to avoid these words. Whereas it will tell you that the food is not good, it is bad, don't take it. It will not tell you. That is why it has two functions. It is two in one. It has two functions. One is tasting, another one is talking. So it finds place in two indriyam, jnanendriyam, and also in kanvendriyam. So in kanvendriyam, we have 5 tools. In jnanendriyam, we have 5 tools. These are all generated from ahankaram, coated with rajasam, coated with sattvam. Then comes the third part of generation. The basic tanmatrigal. Tanmatrigal means what we may call is, they are the basic elements or suchama elements for the generation of the 5 basic elements. That is why they are called suchama elements or sukama bhudangal, thula bhudangal. Tanmatrigal, they are called suchama bhudangal because they are the what we may call is the elements Panchabhudangal, earth, air, fire, water, space. How they are generated? They are generated out of the Tanmatrigal. Out of the sound, the space is generated. Out of the touch, the feel, out of the touch, the air is generated. Out of the brightness or out of the light, out of the brightness, the fire is generated. Out of taste, suvai, the water is generated. Then out of the smell, out of the scent, the earth is land is generated, the earth is generated. So from ahankaram, these 21 tools are generated. Panchabhudangal, 5 elements. Tanmatrigal, 5 senses. Jnanendriyam, 5 sense organs. Kanvendriyam, 5 motor organs. And then Andhakaranangal, they are called Andhakaranangal. It's a group. Don't say that we have not discussed about Andhakaranangal. They are nothing but Siddham, Ahankaram, Buddhi and Manam. Manam, Buddhi, Manam has been generated along with the Jnanendriyam out of Ahankaram. Manam has been generated out of Ahankaram. Manam, Buddhi, Ahankaram, Siddham. They are the tools for processing the thoughts. For example, let me say, the first tool, Manam, that is the thinking. It will go and clutch, it will go and catch, let us say. It is going on catching something. A moving thing it sees. The manam, in the thinking power, the manam, it goes and catches. What is it actually? Why it swings? What is it actually? Then comes the second stage, Buddhi. Buddhi as a platform, it thinks that whether it is a coil or a snake, that is the stage of Buddhi. Buddhi thinks whether it is a coil or a snake. Sometimes let it be anything. Why should we bother about that? Leave it. So it may be aborted at that stage itself. In the first stage itself, it may be aborted. It sees something, it is waving. What is it that waving? What is it actually swinging here and there? What is it? It may think, but the idea may be dropped there itself, aborted there itself. Or the next stage it may go. It may go to the stage of Buddhi, and it may think what it may be, whether it is a snake or a kaya. Second stage. It may be aborted, it may get aborted at that stage itself. Okay, let it be anything. Now the Ahankaram comes, the third stage. No, we will just find it out. Whether it is a kaya, whether it is a snake, we should find out. That is called the Ahankara. Then comes the fourth stage. Okay, it goes, it checks, and it finds, okay, it is a rope. It is a rope. In darkness, my eyesight mistakenly it understands it as a snake. No, it's a rope. It decides. Now the decision is put in the Siddham. That is the Siddham. Manam Sendru Patruvadu. It goes and catches. Buddhi. Iduvo aduvo ena sandehikkirathu. Whether this thing or that thing, it doubts. Ayyam. It doubts. Then if it comes to the third stage, the idea to decide on it, the thrive, the thrust, the thrive, the inclination. Let us find it out. That is the third stage. Fourth stage, it decides. This is that. Please understand, whatever it decides, it will be put in Siddham. If it decides that somebody is very nice, very good, then it will put the idea in Siddham. Whoever tells him, he will not change his idea. You understand? He will finally decide he is good, and he will put the idea in his Siddham, and it will not be changed easily. It goes and checks that it is a rope. Decision may not be always right. It decides, it puts in Siddham, and then it goes and touches it, but it seems to be a snake. And he is being bitten. So its decision is wrong. Not always all decisions are correct. So decisions put in Siddham may not all be correct. But some people will decide, Siddhathai Sivanbale Vaitharkum Adiyen, because he will put the idea that Shiva, Lord Shiva is the only Lord, only God to be prayed, only God to be approached, only God to be achieved. The God is to be achieved. We have to go to Him. We have to achieve His lotus feet to come out of the sufferings. We have to fight the Anavam. On our victory, we will be given the gift of Shiva, Shivanabhava. What is that we are going to gain out of the war? We are doing a war against Anavam. Once we win, we will be gifted with the Shiva, the eternal bliss of Lord Shiva. So for fighting, all these tools have been provided by Lord Shiva. Don't expect Lord Shiva to fight on behalf of you. It is you. It is your wisdom which has come under the clutches of Anavam. So it is your lookout to fight for the freedom. So as a matter of fact, the soul is fighting for freedom. It is under the slavery of Anavam. Even though God has given so many tools out of Mayai to serve you, 36 tattvams we have discussed. Nadam, Bindu, Sadakyam, Iswaram, Shuddhaviddai, Mayai, Kalam, Niyadi, Aragam, Viddai, Kalai, Purudan. Again, Anma Tattvam, Panjabhudangal 5, Tanmatrigal 5, Jnanendriyam 5, Kanvendriyam 5, Andhakaranam, internal senses 4, totally 24, 24 plus 7, 31 and 5, 36. So, driving tools, driven tools and then processing tools. Front office, main office, management office. In so many forms we are discussing so that we will be able to understand how the infrastructure is made out of Mayai and have been gifted by Lord Shiva. He has gifted us. Every time we lose the war, every time he comes back and gives once again tools for fighting. Once we lose the fight, we go into darkness and be there waiting for God to give the next chance. He is going on giving chances. So many people don't understand that. They are doing a war. They don't understand. That is why the saints, our great people, have come forward to enlighten us. Understand this superstructure or the physical structure is not permanent. It's only a temporary arrangement. It is given for you to get trained to fight against the Anavam. So, main motto, the main target is to drive away or to get liberated from Anavam. You please understand again and again. You have to get cured from Anavam, the most dangerous, most dominating, most influencing, the foe, the enemy, you have to fight against. So the physical structure, you don't understand to live in this world for a certain time and then like a withered flower, you are vanishing from this world. It is not the aim, it is not the motto of Lord for giving this physical structure to us. So with this, I want to conclude this session. For the last 3 sessions, we have discussed about the Mayai, Suddha Mayai, Asuddha Mayai and Prakriti Mayai. Suddha Mayai is the pure form. It is the cause for the effect of Asuddha Mayai. And again, Asuddha Mayai is the cause for the effect of Prakriti Mayai. One is the cause, another is the effect. One is Karana, another Karya. Karana, cause, Karya, effect. Because of this, this is affected. You understand? Likewise, Suddha Mayai is the basic cause for everything, raw material. Asuddha Mayai, then comes the Prakriti Mayai. From Suddha Mayai, 5 driving tools. You cannot control them, being fully controlled by the Lord Shiva. From there, you get driving tools, 7. Driven tools, 7 driven tools of Suddha Mayai. And then again, 24, they are self-generated from the Asuddha Mayai, from Kalai, Mula Prakriti, 24 comes, 24 tools. So totally, 24 tools are at our disposal. We can use them at our discretion. Whereas Siva Tattvam, those 5 basic Shuddha Tattvam, the driving tools, we do not have any control. Lord Shiva has the control. and there are souls in charge for them. We have discussed the blockage, bondage. It is called bondage because finally this Maya has also to be removed to merge with the bliss of Lord Shiva. With that, I think I can conclude my session with the 5-lettered mantra being chanted. I request you to follow me, being in your place. Tiruchitrambalam. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Tiruchitrambalam. I have to thank our Qatar couple, Mr. Saravanan and Mr. Saravanan. They are the cause for these efforts. Effective. This effect is caused only because of their efforts or cause. They are the cause. Unless otherwise they are motivating the English session, the philosophy of Saiva Siddhantam would not have emerged. So we are continuously thinking, discussing. We are finding it difficult to find the apt words, apt sentences, how to explain the Saiva Siddhantam. Anyway, we are trying our level best to make you understand. Above all, God's mercy is also there. So this cause and effect, we must closely understand. And this Maya we have to appreciate. It is a gift by God. Don't waste it. Do the fight to His expectations so that we are liberated from the sufferings the sooner. Okay, we will discuss more things under the philosophy of Saiva Siddhantam in the next week also. We will meet at 12 o'clock again on next Saturday, 31st of October. Thank you very much. தென்னாடுடைய சிவனே போற்றி, எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி, வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு அரோகரா. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம்.